Title: The Mirror of Everest by Wisdom Chronicles. In the shadows of the towering peaks of Mount Everest, where the air was thin and the cold bit into every exposed inch of skin, there lived a young Sherpa named Tenzin. He had grown up at the foot of this colossal mountain, learning the ways of the mountaineers and dreamers who came from afar to conquer the world's highest peak. Tenzin, however, was different. He didn't dream of reaching the summit. He dreamt of understanding the hearts of those who did. Tenzin's days at the Everest Base Camp were filled with helping climbers prepare for their arduous journeys. He would often hear their stories of ambition and desire, each climber seeking something beyond the mere altitude. Tenzin wondered what drove them. What unseen force pulled these souls towards the treacherous embrace of Everest? One day, an old mountaineer arrived at the camp. Unlike others brimming with excitement and anticipation, this man, whom everyone called Old John, seemed calm and reflective. Old John was not there to climb Everest, but to relive a memory. He spent his days sitting outside his tent, gazing at the mountain with a distant look in his eyes. Curious, Tenzin approached Old John one evening. "What brings you here, if not to climb?" he asked. Old John smiled, his eyes reflecting the last rays of the setting sun. "I came here many years ago, filled with ambition and pride. I wanted to conquer Everest, to prove something to myself and the world. But Everest, she has a way of teaching you what you truly seek." "And what did you seek?" Tenzin inquired, his breath visible in the cold air. Old John pointed towards the peak, now a silhouette against the darkening sky. "I sought recognition, but I found reflection. Up there, you're stripped of everything but your bare self. Your true nature is mirrored back to you in the harshest, most honest way." Tenzin pondered Old John's words. He looked up at Everest, its towering form a constant presence in his life. Yet now it seemed different, more profound. Days passed, and the climbers began their ascents, leaving Tenzin and Old John at the base camp. One night, a fierce storm hit, and the camp was enveloped in a whirlwind of snow and wind. Tenzin and others worked tirelessly to secure the tents and supplies. In the midst of the chaos, Tenzin noticed that Old John's tent had collapsed. Rushing to his aid, he found the old man trapped under the fabric, his body weak from the cold. Tenzin dragged him to safety, wrapping him in blankets and providing warm tea. As Old John recovered, he looked at Tenzin with gratitude. "You have a strong spirit, young man. You could climb this mountain and reach the summit." Tenzin shook his head. "I don't seek the summit. I seek understanding." Old John smiled. "Then you've already climbed your Everest." The storm passed, and the camp slowly returned to normal. But the event had changed Tenzin. He realized that his Everest was not a physical climb, but a journey within. The mountain had mirrored back his own nature, his strength, his compassion, his desire for understanding. Years later, Tenzin would tell this story to other climbers and Sherpas. He spoke of Old John and the storm, of ambition and the power of reflection. He realized that everyone's Everest is different. For some, it's the physical climb. For others, it's an inner journey. As climbers continued to flock to Everest, seeking their own summits and reflections, Tenzin's story spread, becoming a legend in its own right. It served as a reminder that sometimes the greatest journeys are those that take place within, where the most profound truths are uncovered not at the peak of a mountain, but in the depths of one's own heart. The greatest conquests are not those of the land and sky, but of the heart and mind. In the mirror of life's challenges, we find our true selves reflected. This journey of self-reflection and understanding is the most significant ascent one can ever make.